Good afternoon, magic players and card collectors of all kinds. And of course, fans of beautiful puggies. Welcome to our channel today. We are super excited because it is not only just a Friday, and Fridays are awesome because we get weekends together, but this Friday is a particularly awesome one because I don't have to work next week. Go vacation time! Woo! It's nice when you work for a union. Sometimes you get some pretty nice stuff out of it. For those of you who don't work for unions, appeal for unions, try and get them. They cost some money, yes, but they're worth it in the end. They really are. Whether people want to admit it or not, they really help a lot, I find. More so than they actually hurt. Anyways, I'm not here to do a PSA on unions. I'm here to celebrate the fact that I am on vacation and Kaiba and I get to spend time together. Yes, we get to spend time together for a whole week. Oh, thank you. Good boy. Whole week we get to spend together. So I thought, I'll just open a few Brothers War packs to celebrate. Because why not? I have 4 packs to celebrate with you guys, so I figure we'll just crack a few packs and I'll hang out with my puggy here and we'll see what we get. Maybe we can pull a cool transformer to celebrate this monumentous occasion of having vacation time for the first time in years. The last time I had vacation time, I was actually a teacher, which was back in 2020. It's been 5 years since the last time I taught. Holy crow. I always forget that these packs are so damn tough to open. Okay, Kevin? The hardest packs in the world to open. They might have to use his teeth. There we go. You're a good boy. You want to look at the cards? You see the cards? Sniff the cards? Are they good ones? Maybe? Can't remember if there's a pack trick for this one. So for this pack, we're not going to do anything, but for the next pack, if need be, we'll do the pack trick. We got ourselves an art card first. That's pretty. Is that the right side up? I think so, yeah. That's very pretty. Here. We got ourselves an island. And is the big hit on the front? No. Okay, we're good. Curate. Surveil 2, draw a card for 2. Not bad, not bad. Can't complain about that. Last Nam Adept. When you draw your second card each turn, put a +1/+1 counter on this thing. Meh. It's okay. I'll go mid for that, though. Union of the Third Path, on the other hand, is a pretty cool card. You get to draw a card, and then you gain life equal to the number of cards in your hand. At instant speed, that could actually save you from losing the game, possibly. So I will put you top. Excavation Explosion. 2 in a red, deals 3 damage to any target, create a tapped Power Stone token. It's not bad. Power Stone tokens are really useful for artifact decks and pretty much nothing else, so I will mid you. Ooh, aw, I thought it was a legendary at first. Battery Bearer. 2, a green and a blue. Creatures you control have tap, add, colorless. This mana can't be spent to cast non-artifact spells. Okay, so basically it's Power Stones. All your creatures become Power Stones. Whenever you cast an artifact spell with mana value 6 or greater, you get to draw a card. He's a 3/4, he's okay. Serenith Seeker. Steel Seeker, sorry. 1 and a green for a 1/2. Apparently we got a lot of artificers in this pack. Whenever an artifact enters the battlefield under your control, look at the top card of your library. If it's a land card, you may reveal it and put it into your hand. If you don't put the card into your hand, you put it into your graveyard. Huh. That kind of sucks. I assume you get to just put it back on top if you don't put it in your graveyard, but still, not the best one by any means. But I do like that at least it's going to filter. I'll still put you top because you will get me lands. Eventually, just not necessarily all the time. Oh, this is gonna be hard on my shoulders, but I do not want to move the little baby. He is such a good boy. Alright, we got a Great Desert Prospector. When this thing enters the battlefield, create a tapped Power Stone token for each other creature you control. I mean, that's decent. You're paying enough for him to go in, but he's a 3/2, so he's got okay stats, and that, I'll admit him. Ooh, Wood Color Automation. Costs 10 to put in an 8/8, or 2 and 2 green for a 3/3. And whenever this thing enters the battlefield, if you cast it, untap target land you control. It becomes a tree folk creature with haste, and base power and toughness equal to this thing's power and toughness. And it still counts as a land. Damn. It's pretty ballsy. I like that. Could be very interesting in a green deck, or just any deck that can play green, but I mean, still. Ooh. Chromatic Star is a nice pull. Very cool art. I do like the art. Pay 1, sacrifice this thing, add 1 mana of any color. When this thing is put into a graveyard from the battlefield, you draw a card. I mean, it's not amazing, but it's okay. Costs 1 to play and 1 to do the ability. I still like the artwork though, so we'll go top for that reason. Ooh, we got a Brushland. Taps for colorless, or you can tap it for white or green, and it deals the damage to you. I'm not a huge fan of the Pain lands, but I have seen their value per se in regards to it's just better to always have more lands that can filter for multiple things than it is to just have mono lands. But I'm still not super sold on taking damage unless I absolutely have to. Fade from history, that's an awesome pull. Each player who controls an artifact or enchantment gets to create a 2/2 bear creature token that's green, and then all the artifacts and enchantments are destroyed. I actually really like this card. I only had one copy of it before, so having a second one is pretty sweet. First off, I love the artwork on it. And second off, this the fact that you can actually board wipe all artifacts and enchantments is pretty sick. Ooh, that might be an older card. Is that an older card? 93 to 2006. Okay. 2 and 3 white for a 3/3 with flanking. Whenever a creature without flanking blocks this creature, that blocking creature gets -1/-1 until end of turn. As this thing comes into play, choose a color. Pay 2 white, tap, destroy target permanent of the chosen color. Oh, nice. Okay. He's actually really useful that way then. You can go to the top. Unfortunately, you're not a legendary. So that's the only downside to you, but that is pretty cool. And it's clearly a different set. That must be a list card, so always a bonus when you pull the list cards. Sorry, I have this really bad. 1 second. Arr. Okay, sorry about that. I break my foot on the carpet below me here, and I realized that I have a broken toenail, and oh my goodness, that hurt. But we're good. We're good. Might be bleeding, but we're good. You're okay, baby boy. Just try and see if I can adjust this so that the camera stick isn't blocking Kaiba's cute little head. But sadly, there's no way to do that without completely cutting me off from the video. Oh well. Alright, pack number 2. Got some pretty decent pulls in that one. I'm not disappointed with that one. I'm gonna keep the list card over here actually, and I'll keep this one out too, because those were clearly the main hits from the pack in theory. Ah, yeah. Seriously, the hardest packs I've ever actually opened for Magic are Brothers War. I love this set, but hardest packs to open by far. Alright, art card, here we go. 1, 2, 3, what we got? We got. Ooh. Is it supposed to be like that? Or like the other way? Let me see here. I think it's supposed to go like that. It's pretty. disturbing and cool at the same time. Got our lands pile there. Ooh, we got full art plains. That's pretty. You can actually see a little, I think that's an Eldrazi in the background, maybe? If it's not an Eldrazi, then maybe it's a Phyrexian? Let me know in the comments what creatures were roaming around in the background of the Brothers' War. Maybe it's actually just like an automaton that one of the brothers built. Either way, really cool card. Desynchronize. 4 and a blue for an instant. Target non-land permanent's owner puts it on the top or bottom of their library, and then you scry 2. Eh, that is an expensive card for that ability. I'm going to mid you. Power Stone Engineer. 2 and 1. Or 1 in white for a 2/1, sorry. When this thing dies, you make a Power Stone. Okay. I mean, he's going to die fairly easily, so you will get the Power Stone. Fog of War, the least entertaining fog around. You get a life for each creature on the battlefield, which is pretty solid, but then you only prevent combat damage that would be dealt by creatures with power 3 or less. And chances are you're not getting killed by a whole bunch of 1/1s. Even when a person like builds a tokens deck with a lot of 1/1s, they usually emphasize trying to buff those tokens. So good solid chance you're getting hit by like a 4/4. And that won't save you. But I'll still put you top because of the life gain at instant speed. Energy Refractor. 2 for when this thing enters the battlefield, draw a card, and pay 2 to add 1 mana of any color. That is mid. That one is a little too much. 2 mana for 1 shot of what color you want? It's pretty desperate, in my opinion. Horned Stoneseeker. 1 in a red for a 2/2 lizard with menace. When it enters the battlefield, create a power stone. When it leaves the battlefield, sacrifice a power stone. Okay. That, I don't know. I'll admit you. You're kind of weird. You make your own trinket and then you take it away from you when you die. I don't know if I like that. Philagi? Excavation? Is that how we go with that? Philagi? Philajak? Create 3 tapped Power Stone tokens and gain 3 life. At sorcery speed, but it costs you 5. Mid. That's a lot of mana that you're going to get out of making it 1 payment of 5, for sure. But again, unless you're playing an artifacts deck, it's really not going to be super helpful to you. Ooh, we got ourselves our first legendary. Urza Power Stone Prodigy. 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 2 and a blue for a 1/3. Vigilance. Pay 1, tap, draw a card, then discard a card. Whenever you discard 1 or more artifact cards, create a tap Power Stone token. Okay, that's going in my blue deck probably when I revamp it. That blue deck is going to go from like, I think it might be a power level-ish 3 right now. It's probably going to be a 4 by the time I'm done messing with it. I mean, I'll probably never get played because I just don't like bracket 4. But I mean, at least I'll have a deck for when I go to the card shop and get my ass handed to me by all the people who have such good decks and who don't want to play lower power. Ooh, we got a Cloud Key. This is supposed to be pretty good if I remember correctly. Choose a battlefield, choose an artifact, creature, enchantment, instant, or sorcery. Oh, choose one of those types as this thing enters. Spells of the chosen type cost 1 less to cast. Nice! That goes to the top. That goes to the top in a mighty hurry. Actually, you know what? You might just be the best card out of this pack, so I'm going to put you here temporarily with a faded one for now. Pristine Talisman. Tap, add 1 colorless, gain a life. That's pretty good, but I like the other one better. Titiana's Command! That's a hardcore hit for sure. It costs a lot to play this card, but the amount of things you get out of this are insane. You get to choose 2. Exile target player's graveyard and you gain 1 life for each card in that graveyard. Search your library for up to 2 land cards, put them on the battlefield tapped and shuffle. Create 2 bears that are 2/2s. Or put 2 +1/+1 counters on each creature you control. Chances are you're not making the bears. But aside from that, this card is giving you some serious value for 6. Sorcery speed's the only downside to it, but still. I'll put that one over here, actually, too. Boulder Branch Golem, that one doesn't look so great. 6/5 for 7 or a 3/3 for 3 and a green. When it enters, it get to gain life equal to its power. Meh. Ooh. That's a list card, I'm pretty sure, and it counts for old requirements. Nice. Always good when we get an old card. You gain 3 life for each creature attacking you. Ooh, at instant speed for 1 and a white? That's insanely good. That's insanely good. I don't know if I brought that in close enough for you guys to see. Blessed Reveal? Revival? Reversal. Blessed Reversal. I like the artwork in it too. That is definitely going to be a great card to put in a white deck. 2 packs to go. Ooh, that one actually ripped. Nice. After this, I'm just going to chill out with Kaiba for the rest of the afternoon. Probably take a nap at some point since I've been up since 2. I think we've been up since 2 this morning. So we'll probably do that for a little while, and then I don't know. I'm so excited to have a whole week to myself. I can actually play cards for a lot of the time and spend time with him and all kinds of good stuff. Plus, I'm going to go see my best friend Kai next weekend. Shout out to Kai. Looking forward to it, buddy. So that'll be a lot of fun too. We got a soldier on the back, so we didn't get a list card in this pack. But that's okay. We got 2 list cards already. I can't complain about that. Well, I mean, I could, but if I did, that would make me kind of a hypocrite. A little bit. Art card. Ooh, I like that one. That one's kind of neat. Cool robot. Feeding energy to another robot, maybe, or something? I'm not sure. It's nice, so I really like this set. Might have to go buy a few more packs of this at some point. Not anytime soon, of course. I made myself a promise I'm not buying more packs except for the Ages of Eternity ones. But eventually, I might go back into this set some more. Military Discipline. 1 white for an aura, flash, enchant creature. When it enters battlefield, enchanted creature gains first strike until end of turn, and it gets +1/+0. Instant speed? That's decent. Can't complain about that. I wish they would get first strike permanently, though, so I'm gonna admit it. Still, we haven't pulled anything that's like completely useless yet. Perimeter Patrol, 2 and a green. Whenever an artifact enters the battlefield under your control, this thing gets +1/+0 until end of turn. It's a 3/3 for 3. It's not bad. I'll put you up there. I mean, no, you know what? Again, a lot of these cards would end up here if they weren't so artifact specific, because I don't build a lot of artifact based decks. The next artifact based deck that I really want to build is ironically the Transformers deck, which is why we're trying to collect these cards. Philagi Archaeologist. I'm really going to have to learn how to pronounce Philagi or Philagi, whatever it is. When it enters the battlefield, mill 3 cards, then you can put a non-creature, non-land card from among those cards into your hand. If you don't, you put a +1/+1 counter on this thing. It's a 1 and a blue for a 0/3 that could potentially become a 1/4. Or it could get you something kind of cool into your hand. Which, yeah, alright. I will top you. You're a little bit better than the regular ones. Because you can at least give me an enchantment or instant or sorcery, or a battle, or a planeswalker. The Fall of Krug, or Krog. Probably Krug, though. 4 and 2 red, choose target opponent, destroy target land that player controls. Then this thing deals 3 damage to that player and 1 damage to each creature they control. Damn! That is harsh. And that's actually a really awesome sorcery for a deck that I want to build, so that's going right there. 9 vermin. Nice, we got a rat. A 1/1 for 1. Enters the battlefield, target player mills 2 cards. When this thing dies, target creature you don't control gets -1/-1 until end of turn. Okay. Take that. Ooh, Junkyard Genius. One red and black. Creates a tapped Power Stone when he comes in. Pay one red and black. Sacrifice another creature or artifact until end of turn. Other creatures you control get +1/+0 and menace and haste. Damn. That's pretty stacked abilities. Yeah, alright. Ooh, another multicolored. Arbalist Engineers. I'm liking that a lot of the multicolored seem to be stacked at the back of the pack, and the front of the pack it's mostly monocolored, which is neat. Because we're getting to really like experience like the mono stuff in the set, and then we get to experience. Oh, you need a scratch scratch? You need a scratch scratch? I give you a scratch scratch. Somebody's not super happy because he had to get his medicine, of course, at the beginning of the month. And because he won't take the flea and take stuff orally, I have to put the stupid liquid crap on the back of his spines between the shoulder blades and stuff. He never seems to do very well with that stuff for the first couple of days afterwards, and I always hate that stuff because then it gets all over my hands. But it is what it is. Anyways, when this thing enters the battlefield, I choose one. It either deals one damage to any target. I put a +1/+1 counter on target creature that gain, and it also gains trample and haste until end of turn. Or I create a power stone. That's tapped. Well, I'm going to mid that. That's ooh, we did it! We did it! Da 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 da. Celebrate the Optimus Prime. Kaiba, look, we pulled the Transformer card. You don't care? Daddy cares a lot. That's actually one of my favorite Transformers. Optimus Prime is so cool. First off, this is one of the best ones to build a deck around. Oh, are you getting down? Do you want me to move this? Okay, I move this so you can get down. Okay, there you go. Bye-bye. Gotta finish the video and then we'll go outside, okay? This is by far one of my favorite um Transformers, first off. And second off, this is definitely like, careful, one of the better ones to pull. And it's the best one to build a commander deck around unless you want to include black. And as far as I know, the only way to include black is to include Brea, I think is the one. She's like an artificer and she has all of these colors plus black. And I don't have a clue where I'm going to get a copy of that one right now because everybody seems to be sold out. But this is sick. Okay, so first off, more than meets the eye. I can pay two, a blue, a white, and a red, and I can play this card for its other side instead of playing it for this side. At the beginning of each end step, I bolster one, which means I get to put a +1/+1 counter on a creature that has toughness, has the least amount of toughness on the board, on my side. And whenever this thing dies, I return it to the battlefield converted under its owner's control. So instead of being a 4/8, it becomes a 6/8. And it is an artifact vehicle creature, so it only is an artifact. It's only like able to attack on my turns and block if I. Yeah, it's only a creature on my turn. Sorry, that's what I'm trying to say. And then also it has trample, which is great. And whenever you attack, you bolster two, so you get to put two +1/+1 counters on the creature that has the weakest power or weakest toughness. Sorry. And then the chosen creature also gets trample until end of turn. And when it deals combat damage to a player, I get to transform this back into the original version of Optimus. So just an insanely cool transformer. He doesn't permanently die. Once you get him onto the field, the only way to like actually get rid of him is to like exile him or send this to the graveyard when it's an artifact. Because um, as long as he gets to the other side, you're going to get to put him back out. This is probably one of the better cards to pull in this pack. And the only thing that makes me sad is he's not a hollow. You've also got you got one of the other uh Transformers in the background. I'm trying to remember what that one's name is. If anybody can help me remember that later on, that would be great. I know that's not Ratchet, because Ratchet's white. I think that might be Bumblebee. Maybe. But they didn't have like Bumblebee back in this original version. I think he was called something else back then, but still. Great, great pull. So happy with that. So we've got one of the Transformers now. So we're up to four. Unfortunately, two of them are black. So again, he won't play with those ones, but we'll figure something out. Sword of the Meek. Equip creature gets +1/+2. Equip for two. And whenever a 1/1 creature enters the battlefield under your control, you can take this thing back from your graveyard, put it on the battlefield, and then attach it to that creature. So, great way to bring back an artifact that you can keep recurring, which is awesome. I like that one a lot, actually. Ooh, we got another legendary. Two hits in this pack. This is one sick freaking pack, guys. Tocasia Dig Site Mentor. One green, white, blue. Creatures you control have vigilance and tap for surveil one. Holy crap. 4/3. Pay two green, two white, two blue. Exile her from your graveyard. Return any number of target artifact cards with total mana value 10 or less from your graveyard to the battlefield. Ooh. Okay, so you get her onto the battlefield. She's giving your guys all kinds of buffs. And when she dies as your commander, you exile her, and you get everything that you've ever lost in the game back potentially, as long as it doesn't cost too much. That's nuts! What a pull! And we finish with. I don't even care what the hollow is, because that was just insane. These two are amazing, and that blue creature is an excellent legendary too. What does this guy do, though? One in a red for a 0/4 Minotaur Barbarian. As long as it's your turn and you control four or more mountains, this thing gets +X+O, where X is the number of mountains you can. Ooh, shoot. He is pretty beefy. That'll go good in a mono red deck when I eventually build one. I'll put you up top for that. Alright. Man, oh man, I don't know about opening this last pack. I am just so freaking like, whoa, like we should end this like now on this kind of energy. But at the same time, I'm just too tempted not to go through with it. And maybe we'll pull a second transformer. Wouldn't that be crazy? Oh my goodness. Still, Optimus Prime is definitely the hero of the day. These two legendaries are awesome. Don't get me wrong, but this is like that is like my reward for being able to make it to my vacation. The card gods have rewarded me for working so hard. And ironically, he's a transport truck, and I load packages onto transport trucks. So the card gods really did reward me for my vacation. That's actually really cool and hilarious. I love it. All right, last pack magic. We got a power stone on the back. I mean, we clearly need some power stones with all the amount of power stones we're making in this deck in these cards. So we'll put that there. But sadly, that means no list again. Ooh, that one's an okay art card. Kind of like a menacing little robot guy. But I like him. Far Forest with a cool robot in the background. This one too. Nice. Mishra's Juggernaut. Trample. When this thing attacks, oh, it has to attack each combat if able. It's a 5 cost 5/3, and it has Unearth. I don't like being forced to attack every turn, but I do like that you have Trample, so I'll give you mid. Deadly Reposit. No, Repost. Sorry. Repost. One in a white for an instant that deals 3 damage to target tapped creature, and you gain 2 life. It's pretty decent. Somebody attacks you, you can make them pay for it. Death Charge Colossus. I pulled this once before, and I'm trying to find a way to put it into a deck, so having a second one is not super awesome, but he's still pretty cool. He costs 9, he's a 9/9. You can put him in for 4 and 2 blue, though, and make him a 6/6. The problem is he doesn't untap during your untap step. You have to pay 3 to untap him. But if you put him in a deck where you have cards that will help untap him, I mean, no big deal. Definitely a beefy boy. You gonna go upstairs instead? You can go upstairs if you want. But I thought you wanted to go outside after this. Rust Goliath is a 10 cost 10/10 or 3/5 for 3 and 2 green with reach and trample. I mean, you can't really complain about that. Some big ass machines. That one's the one I think in this artwork over here, possibly. Dredging Claw. Equipped creature gets +1/+0 and has menace, and whenever this thing enters the battlefield from your graveyard, you can. Or no, whenever a creature enters the battlefield from your graveyard, you can attach this thing to it. And it costs 1 and a black to equip. So, meh, it's okay. It's very specific deck that it would work well in, though. Giant Cindermaw. Trample, players can't gain life. I think we pulled this the other day, and I was like oohing and awing over it. Um, if I hadn't just scored, it's not in my hands yet. It'll be in my hands soon, though. If I hadn't scored myself a Pant Laza card for my dinosaur deck, this would probably be the one I would replace the guy that deals extra combat damage when he hits instead with. I like the idea of making sure that nobody else can gain life. I know it includes me too, don't get me wrong, but I'm not focused on gaining a lot of life in that dinosaur deck, as you've seen, so. Flow of Knowledge. 4 and a blue, draw a card for each island you control, then discard 2 cards. This is a pretty solid one in a mono blue deck for sure. But even in like a 2-color deck, you're going to get a decent amount of cards out of that. So I'll put you up. Cost is a little much, but. Mask of the Jade Crafter. 2 to put it into play, X to tap it, sacrifice it, create an XX colorless golem artifact creature token. Meh. Oh, we got ourselves a second Ivory Tower. That's pretty cool. I've got this in one of my other decks, but this is a neat one because if you're playing anything like oh, what's that damn card? Reliquary Tower, or anything that gives you like infinite hand size, as long as your hand's bigger than 4, you're going to gain life each turn by having this in play. So I mean that's pretty decent. Steel Sarah, 1 and 2 white for 3/3 or 6/4/5/4 with flying. And at the beginning of combat on your turn, target creature you control gains your choice of flying, vigilance, or lifelink until end turn. It's not bad. It counts as an angel, so I'll go in my angel deck when I build one. And Gixian Skullflare. At the beginning of your upkeep, if there are 3 or more creature cards in your graveyard, put a +1/+1 counter on this thing. Meh. Alright. I mean, black definitely likes to have stuff in its graveyard, don't get me wrong. I was kind of right, though. We should have just capped it at the Transformer. Because that last pack was definitely not nearly as cool as the first few. And that third pack was definitely like the sauce of the video. Um, yeah, I don't have anything else to say to you guys except thank you for tuning in as always. It means the world to me and Kaiba when you guys tune into our videos, when you like, when you comment, subscribe, all that good stuff. I don't usually try to appeal about this thing in my videos very much, but I mean, if um if you guys are new and you haven't subscribed, I know there's a lot of people watching some of my shorts and other things who don't subscribe. It would be awesome if you hit that subscribe button. Um, Anywho, that's all I got for you today. Make sure you tune in tomorrow because we are starting our first ever episode of Commander Core Creator Challenge, the Commander Core Creator Challenge, and we will be picking a legendary. Could be one of these 3 because they will go into the legendaries box. So, I mean, we could be looking at building an Optimus Prime deck in the near future, guys. That would be pretty cool. The only ones that are off the table right now are the goblins that I'm currently using to build my goblins deck, which I've kind of started, but not super started. I might work on that some this afternoon, to be honest, when I get back up from that nap. But I mean, aside from those cards, all legendaries are on the table that I have in that box. So hopefully we'll pull something really cool to build a deck around. And hopefully some of you guys will want to jump into that challenge too. And then of course we got our Super Deck Sunday coming up too, so don't forget about that as well. Alright, I've rambled on long enough. I'm just going to go like this and go like this. I go. Thank you very much, guys. From Kaiba and I to you, much love to you all, and have a great weekend. Bye!